he wants to talk about. Some of them real. I think some of you are trolling us out there. But we will answer your tweets anyway as we get ready to watch Elvish Rally do battle here against Jeskai Dragons. Hipp will start things off with a Mystic Monastery. Poellinger will sacrifice a Windswept Heath. He's going down to 19. Forester Plains on the way, and we are underway here in round number 11.
There's some setup on Ryan's side. Remember, for counter magic in the main for Ryan, it's very sparse, just 2 copies of Ojutai's Command. Because of that, I would expect Ethan to be a favorite here as he's setting up higher synergy plays.
It's an Elvish Visionary. That'll resolve. Card will be drawn. We're going to head back Hipp's way. Hipp with a Mystic Monastery. Pass the turn back. It's a very slow start here for Ryan. Poellinger will come across for 1.
This deck fits into the style deck which Poellinger generally plays. Likes to play proactive style strategies. Big fan of, say, mono blue last season as well.
Magma Spray will take care of Elvish Visionary. So Dwynen's Elite will not bring an elf along with it. It'll just be a 2/2. Sandstep Citadel for Poellinger. He'll pass the turn back. Hipp with a Temple of Triumph. He has to pass the turn back too. So no Soulfire Grandmaster, no Jace, no Mantis Rider here for Ryan. Super slow start.
Yeah, slow starts from both sides. Now, from the rally deck, that may be okay. He's just setting up critical mass.
There's an attack for 2. Shaman of the Pack. Looks like that's going to resolve and drain for 2. Poellinger will follow up with Sandstep Citadel, and that'll be the turn.
Maybe just playing a fair game here.
Well, I don't think he wants to now, given that there's a Thunderbreak region out there, but that's what Pellinger's draw has coughed up. Looks like Llanowar will waste the draw.
Looks like a one-of copy of Nissa, Vastwood Seer in Ethan's hand. Some other one-ofs in his deck has 1 Sidisi Undead Vizier that helps him find a lot of singleton targets, be it Nissa, Reclamation Sage, Murderous Cut.
I'm very excited about that card for rotation.
Undead Vizier?
Yeah, I think it's going to be quite good. A lot of things to sacrifice. I think in combination with Hangerback Walker, that's an obvious combo, but I think that's going to be working its way into things. And truth be told, I mean, it's a relevant body too, that 4/6 with Death Touch.
Oh, absolutely. It's great. Sizes up great against Siege Rhino.
Yeah. It feels like the format's going to slow down. It also feels like, you know, a card that you can splash, which is a weird thing to say, but again, with what the mana's going to look like, you can basically do anything. Here's Shaman of the Pack yet again. That'll resolve. This time it'll be for 3.
Yeah, Hipp down to 12. Looks like remaining cards in Ethan's hand, he has a Court of Calling, a Rally the Ancestors, and a Nissa. You can call up another Shaman. He doesn't have a sacrifice outlet, but what is a line that's available to him is if he gets another Shaman of the Pack in play, he can actually just start suiciding his creatures into Thunderbreak Regent and then eventually rallying the Ancestors.
And that'll be a huge hit.
I'm a little surprised. I imagine he'll start doing it this turn.
Start making those attacks?
Yeah, you get 5 damage, you get them in the graveyard. It will really turn on that Rally the Ancestors. You can just play a tap land, Chord.
Well, Poellinger's got a lot of options in hand. He's got the Sidisi in the grip. He has Nissa. Looks like he's going to start by deploying that. Trigger, going to search up a forest. 1 land away from flipping it.
Yeah, that's great. He may not even have to rally the Ancestors here.
Of course, you have Crewfix rotating out. I think it's very obvious that this is going to see some play. No, you can't search up battle lands with it. You can only search up basic forest, but I think that's still just fine. I think that this is still going to be quite good. There is the forest that Poellinger searched up, and now he'll just pass the turn back. Court of Calling at the ready.
Yeah, so Chord's at the ready. He can do it for 4. That could find Siege Rhino, Shaman of the Pack, Reclamation Sage. So this is another option. I was saying before, I thought he might try to suicide his team into a rally. While that works, getting just simply cording up more creatures also seems pretty reasonable. So if he cords up Siege Rhino, for example, big fan of that.
Or here's Soulfire Grandmaster.
This is a card that is of some concern. It can gain Ryan a lot of life. If Ethan sets up a good enough rally turn, I doubt it can pull Ryan out of range of a good rally.
Looks like it's time for Court of Calling. It's going to be for 3.
Yeah, just for 3. It looks like he's going to go grab another Shaman of the Pack.
And he will, so this one's going to be for a healthy amount too.
That's 5. I'll put Ryan down to 6.
Yeah, Hipp is in some real trouble here.
Right. If he has the issue is if he has cards like Ojutai's Command, he can't actually do that to Court of Calling. Mentioned no counter magic in the main deck. When Hipp is playing fair magic here. You know, Thunderbreak Regent's a pretty fair card. It's a good rate, but what you see is what you get. The fact that Ethan's cards scale with each other, things like Shaman of the Pack, makes his deck a lot more powerful when neither player is interacting.
Ethan does have land number 7 if you'd like to flip Nissa. Does seem difficult to pass that up.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of options available. Has lands and rally. It might even be DC Undead Vizier here.
Yeah, it looks like it is.
See if that one resolves. Does Ryan have a command for it?
With it on the stack,
He'll
it's going to use
Stance.
Valor Stance, yeah.
So note, the exploit trigger only says you may, when it exploits a creature is when it triggers. So if you actually remove the Sidisi before he gets a chance to exploit, then Ethan won't get to use the ability.
No tutor. Temple, you'll get a scry and then a flip.
Yeah. This is a game that's going Ethan's way. I think he could have won it faster here, but it does look like he'll end up getting it. This Nissa flip is going to be hard for Ryan to deal with. Ryan's priced into blocking here.
I do like that the Elemental is going to be made, and then we can see a lethal attack maybe next turn.
Right.
And we'll see some attacks right now, actually. Some creatures are going to die. And again, this is perfectly reasonable. It looks like 2 Shaman attacks are going to get blocked because, again, we know that he's got Rally the Ancestors in hand.
Right, so Ryan takes 5 but gains 2, so we'll actually just take 3 total.
Yep.
Should drop down to 3. And 2 lands in hand. That will be enough for Ethan to take game 1.
Ethan Bellinger will win game number 1 here over Ryan Hipp. Elvish Rally does win game number 1 over Jeskai Dragons. That means both players are going to go to the sideboard. And we will start with Ryan Hipp in the Jeskai Dragons deck, where you'll find 2 copies of Varashian Cleric, 2 Glare of Heresy, 2 Negates, 2 Disdainful Strokes, along with 2 Anger of the Gods, and then some singletons in Elspeth Sun's Champion, Encase in Ice, Tragic Arrogance, Rending Volley, and Stratus Dancer.
Well, so he needs to keep these high synergy plays under control. And even though Elvish Rally is a heavy creature deck, he may want to try to board in something like Negate or Disdainful Stroke here to take care of cards like Rally the Ancestors and Court of Calling. Elspeth Sun's Champion is good, and let's not forget 2 Anger of the Gods, probably the most important card in Ryan's sideboard in this matchup.
On the other side of things here for Ethan and his innovative Elvish Rally deck, what do we see?
All right. So, running through the sideboard, he has 2 copies of Anafenza, a Reclamation Sage, a Minister of Pain, a Merciless Executioner, an Ultimate Price, 3 Arishan Clerics, 3 Den Protectors, and 3 Thoughtseize. If he's going to assume, and I would imagine correctly, that he's going to get swept by Anger of the Gods, maybe something like Den Protector is a go-to card for him. Simply in the face of a lot of removal that Jeskai brings, Den Protector is going to give him resiliency. Outside of that, I'm not sure that I expect him to bring in too much. Game 1 went very well for him, and it's reasonable for him just to think that can happen again.
Well, those are the options there for both players. Ryan Hipp will be on the play. He's going to have to interact a little bit more early and a little bit more often to be able to beat Ethan. So we'll see if he's able to do that here in game number 2. But in the meantime, we will talk about Star City Games' popular promotion. It is SCG Game Night. Every week in September, you can get the Kraken if you'd like. Though not a lot of time left here in this month, especially with the Battle for Zendikar pre-release coming around the corner. So definitely jump out to your local game night. Too late to get signed up for this one, but if you want to get signed up for October, you still can. You can get the Hippo, and then in November, we've got Otter von Bismarck. It is, of course, the Otter. StarCityGames.com/game night for more information, or just contact your organized play representative with Star City Games to get signed up for this very popular promotion. We do want to thank you guys for making it so popular, because we love doing it as long as you guys love playing at it, and clearly you do. So Rally the Ancestors. We think this has got a future?
Well, it's going to be interesting. And kind of fortunate, there are some good cards in Battle for Zendikar for a Rally deck. So yeah, I don't think we've seen the last of Rally.
I'm kind of, it's such a great like deck building exercise, right? About all the different things you can do with this deck. And I feel like it's not even all the way done being explored. I think that, Ray Todic wins the Open Series in Richmond a little over a month ago, and that really put the deck on the map for the Pro Tour. And while Mono Red did end up winning the Pro Tour, I think a lot of people were giving that Rally deck that Ray won the Open Series with, a real try, and we saw some players even play to some success at the Pro Tour. And then we kind of stopped there.
Right. What I'm really excited about is, if you look at one of the mechanics from Battle for Zendikar, the ally mechanic, that is asking to be Rally the Ancestor. Remember, each ally triggers off an ally coming into play. So if you just can rally 4 allies, there's a lot of real swingy things you can do.
Yeah, I feel like there's probably something there. Just because Rally the Ancestors is so powerful, like right now we're combining with Nantuko Husk and Sacrifice effects and kind of going that route, but that's not the only way that you have to go with the deck. Now, I'm not saying it's easy to build, but one thing we know for sure, you can be a lot of colors.
You can be a lot of colors. That part's not hard. Now, for the Nantuko Husk version, remember, Mogus's Marauder does get lost after this set.
Very true.
So you don't have haste in that regard. Now, there is an ally card that gives your allies haste. Not to mention the one that I'm very excited about, there's a new Blood Artist variant in the next set.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that one at the conclusion of the round.
That one's big.
Yeah, a lot of people very interested in that new effect. Now, it's not quite Blood Artist because Blood Artist triggered off of both players' stuff.
Right.
This one only triggers off of yours. Now, that said, you can still abuse that style of effect quite a bit.
Yeah, so Blood Artist was one of those cards that when it was first printed was inconspicuous, and I think it took a long time for us to realize as a community that that effect was very powerful. Once we finally got there, that sees play in Modern.
It was one of the, I don't want to say it's the glue that held like the Aristocrats decks together, but it was very important.
It was close to being that card.
And I always remember, when someone would start off, like a Doom Traveler and a Blood Artist, and it really it was like a 1/1 into an 0/1. It's like, no, that's a real start. My deck's doing what it's supposed to right now. You didn't want to kill the Blood Artist because it's an 0/1, it can't even attack, but it would just kind of sit there, and it would cause some problems.
I mean, then they get a second Blood Artist in play, and then the game's over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that would happen a lot. That would happen a lot. So there is that new Blood Artist effect. I know some other players on the Twitter sphere curious about Beastcaller Savant, the new Elf Shaman ally that provides mana but can only be spent on creatures. So we'll be talking about a bunch of Battle for Zendikar cards here this weekend. You guys just let us know at home what you want to hear about. There's a lot of layers to peel back on this set. The mana is going to be really difficult, and it's just different this set than anything we've ever really seen. Some of the cards jump out to you with how powerful they are, like the Planeswalkers, but a lot of them don't. So a lot of work to be done as far as deck building is concerned.
What I think is interesting is we can do these synergistic game plans again, because really, Thoughtseized leaving the format is that important.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. The discard is just worse overall now.
Yeah. Before, if you try to build these decks around allies, even with Elvish Rally, there's a problem of, they Thoughtseize your Rally the Ancestors, and then, well, your hand's kind of just a bunch of creatures.
Soulfire Grandmaster is where Hipp starts. For Ethan, he's got a Dwaren's Elite, now an Elf, and an Elvish Mystic. So it's a good start for the Elvish Rally deck. Hipp with the Mystic Monastery, that's land number 3. I think he's maybe considering an attack here. We'll see if he actually wants to come into the red zone or not. He's going to go with Draconic Roar. He does have a dragon to reveal in Stormbreath Dragon. This will allow Ryan to gain a whole bunch of life, 6 of it, and with the attack, let's make it 2 more.
Wow.
Pretty good turn.
That combination of Draconic Roar and Soulfire Grandmaster is so powerful.
So let's see what's next here for Poellinger, because really, even though that turn's impressive by Ryan, all Ethan lost was just a 2/2.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan went to 28. That's inconvenient, though. If the rally, it depends. The rally deck in the Elvish Rally has a couple ways to win. Sometimes it wins with big rally turns. If that's the case, this high life total from Ryan won't be as relevant. Sometimes it chip shots its way to 20 with cards, I guess, like this Siege Rhino, and that can be more problematic.
Now, I don't care what kind of Jeskai deck you are. Jeskai Aggro, Jeskai Control, Jeskai Dragons. Jeskai always has trouble with Siege Rhino. It's going to have to find an answer.
5 toughness gets around it nearly all the removal that the deck brings.
Here's another Soulfire Grandmaster. Thoughtseize the draw here for Poellinger.
Big draw right on time. Stormbreath Dragon is in wait. Ethan knows that from the Draconic Roar, and he's going to get that just before Ryan can cast it.
There's the grip. A Disdainful Stroke, a little late to the party for the Siege Rhino. Stormbreath Dragon, and then a Flooded Strand. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a Stormbreath Dragon hit the bin. Then you just try to play around the Disdainful Stroke as best you can.
Yeah, Stormbreath is the obvious card to hit. Now, if Ethan has a Court of Calling in hand, he may want to try to take Disdainful Stroke. But my guess is he'll still go for the dragon, even with that large payoff card.
There goes Stormbreath Dragon from the Thoughtseize. What's next here for Poellinger? Time for Rhino beats. No good blocks here for Hipp, so he'll take 4.
I would assume that means Ethan has a blocker. Doesn't actually want to swing that if Brian can counterattack with 2 lifelinkers.
Well, he sort of has a blocker there in Shaman of the Pack. He can trade if he wants to, and maybe he'd prefer for Shaman of the Pack to trade and be in the graveyard since he has a Rally of the Ancestors deck.
Ryan looks like he might have replaced his threat by getting a copy of Mantis Rider.
Quickly sacrificing a Flood Strand here. There's 3 mana. There is Mantis Rider. Disdainful Stroke at the ready still as well.
Yep.
And yeah, I like an attack with everybody. Get in there.
Ethan's at 14. He can't. If he takes all this, it's a 2-turn clock. He's not well equipped to deal with Mantis Rider. Now, I believe he'll trade a Shaman for 1 Soulfire Grandmaster. What's interesting to me is whether or not he trades all the Elves for the other one. And yeah, just trade boards across.
Okay.
So 20-11, Ryan's leading in the race. Siege Rhino does damage more quickly than Mantis Rider, but Ryan is ahead at the moment. Few kill spells in Ethan's deck. He, in the main, has a 2 Murderous Cut, 2 Obzon Charm. That's how he can answer Mantis Rider.
There's Urborg from Ethan after the attack. 11-16 now. Mantis Rider coming across for 3. Murderous Cut you mentioned. Probably going to be hit with the Disdainful Stroke.
I would assume so here.
Hipp's draw for the turn was Temple of Triumph.
If Ryan doesn't Disdainful, yeah, I don't see how he would really win without Disdainful Stroking this.
It would take some timely top decks, that's for sure. So there's the attack for 3. There's the Temple. Time for Hipp to scry. That top card is going to make him think a little bit. He is not sure what he wants to do with that. Consulting the graveyard now. Makes you think maybe it might be something like Dig Through Time. Perhaps a card like Ojutai's Command right now. But Ryan very unsure of himself at this point. Seems like it'd be a crucial decision. The most fun part is we don't know what it is either.
Right.
But we're going to find out because that's going to be his draw.
Yeah. See if Ethan has options.
Well, that's the easiest one.
Yeah. He only has single white, so it's possible he's sitting on something like Rally the Ancestors.
Haven of the Spirit Dragon was the top card.
That seems like an excellent card to keep on top. Yeah. And Ryan's thought I'm certainly a fan of scrying that one to the top.
There's a Stormbreath Dragon in the graveyard.
Sure is.
Rhino coming across for 4 more. And there is a Siege Rhino, which conveniently
puts him at 8, and Stormbreath only does 7 with Mantis Rider.
And now it's 8-5.
Wow, Ryan's going to be a point short as it stands.
So maybe that Stormbreath Dragon's going to be on defense now. Oh, boy.
You look at the shakers and Ryan drawing another copy of Stormbreath for the turn.
Well, he might be okay still. You play Stormbreath. You don't get to attack with it. You just hang back on defense. You still get to attack with Mantis Rider, of course.
Yeah, and then you can win on the next turn because it's pro-white.
Mm-hmm.
You could leave the whole team back for blocks, actually.
Well, I mean, Mantis Rider has Vigilance, so that's going to stay back.
Free.
And then Stormbreath Dragon just shouldn't attack because there's no reason to. Just don't miss your free 3 points, that's all.
Right.
There you go.
The second Stormbreath actually, while it looks awkward, it's actually a pretty good draw here.
Yeah. Now, the big question is, what's Ethan's draw? If Ethan draws a removal spell for Stormbreath Dragon, this game is over.
Not over, but it's close.
Oh, certainly over.
Oh, no, you're right. Oh, it's just gone.
trampled.
Yeah, it tramples.
So
Both block.
Yeah, there goes Mantis Rider. He'll trample over for 1 point of damage. That Stormbreath Dragon should not die because Siege Rhino's a 4/5, so we'll fix that.
I don't think it's going to matter here if Ryan casts another Storm Breath to win. Well, by the way, Ryan plays the other Storm Breath off the top. That's 8 damage coming across. So Ryan Hipp will take game 2.
So we're tied.
So we tie it up.
We're tied.
Running Storm Breaths. Gets it there for Ryan.
Now, we will make sure that Ethan knows that his Siege Rhino should not have died there because a 4/4 cannot kill a 4/5.
Yeah, Siege Rhino should have still been in play there. Outcome's still the same. The second Storm Breath's lethal.
Correct. So these players will get ready here for game number 3. Poellinger will be on the play for this game.
Yeah.
A close game there for sure.
It was close. That game was at the pace of the Jeskai Dragon's deck because it turned into a slugfest. You know, Siege Rhino, like standalone good cards crashing into each other. Ethan put up a good fight on the back of 2 Siege Rhinos, and that's a better fight than he'll normally put up with the Elvish Rally deck. You know, by and large, its creatures are much smaller and more synergy-based. But if a game's going to go like that, I would expect Ryan to take game 3. Ethan's going to look to recap game 1, where he has a storm of creatures that just start cascading into extra advantage.
Well, these players will shuffle up here for game number 3, and Ethan will be on the play. And in the meantime, we will talk about the Battle for Zendikar pre-release taking place at the Star City Game Center next weekend. Now, everyone's got a pre-release next weekend, but Star City Games is going to blow it out a little bit with this awesome playmat, the Battle for Zendikar playmat. You come, you play in some events, you can get this thing. Now, if you guys are familiar with this promotion, if you can't make it out to Roanoke, Virginia, we completely understand and still want to get this playmat. So on Monday morning, any that we do have left over, we will place on the website. They'll be available for purchase. So make sure you run to the website Monday morning because they do go very quickly, and this one is very popular. So September 26th through the 27th is the pre-release. That's next weekend. If you can't attend Star City Games pre-release at the Star City Game Center, go attend your own, have some fun with these fantastic new cards, crack some expeditions, make yourself rich, and then go buy that playmat Monday morning at StarCityGames.com. We've already got players in the Community Cup this weekend cracking those packs.
Yeah, had the first booster draft for it yesterday.
Yep. And I know what everyone's thinking. I'm going to crack one of those insane, beautiful-looking lands because that's what I'm looking to do. I do love the promotions that they have with Zendikar. The first one where you could crack some power and no one knew that was going to happen. They did a great job of keeping that a secret. Now this one with these awesome lands makes Magic and opening packs a lot of fun.
Which one are you going to open?
Well, my favorite fetch. Well, so the Misty Rainforest is gorgeous.
Right.
It's like too nice, actually.
You couldn't put it in your deck?
I don't think I would actually play with it if I opened one. I'm not kidding. And like I like playing with like really nice cards, really nice decks, and I've played like all foil decks in tournaments and stuff. But if I opened the Misty Rainforest, I would not play with it. I would just sleeve it up and leave it in my house, and that's it. This is the one that's blown like everyone away. And not to say that they aren't all nice, because they are, but I think this is just far and away the best one.
It's good colors too.
Yeah, you like blue and green.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Combo colors.
Sure.
Simic. One of my favorite. It's weird because like I don't know how many people have a favorite fetch land, but I think that Misty Rainforest is most people's favorite fetch land. Like, I don't know whose
I
don't know whose favorite fetch land is Bloodstained Mire. You know, I don't think that's the case. Misty Rainforest is just so cool. Delta's really nice too. There are a lot of really nice ones. The Flooded Strand is really nice.
Art-wise, I really like the Polluted Delta.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The Flooded Strand's got a lot going on. You know what it is? The blue ones are all the best ones. Yeah, the blue ones are the best ones.
I mean, they all just fetch islands, right?
Yeah, the blue ones are the best ones. That's just how this always works, because blue's the best. It's not really fair, but it's just true. Tarn's not bad.
No, I mean, right now, Scalding Tarn probably the fetch land that sees the most play.
Yep. Across all formats, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Certainly in Modern.
Yeah, I don't know what Vintage looks like, but I know that, in Modern and in Legacy, Scalding Tarn's seeing a ton of play. If Ryan Hipp could play Scalding Tarn in his deck, he probably would.
I would assume so.
Forest is where Poellinger's going to start things. Both players keeping their 7. We'll see what's next here for Hipp.
Both fish are starting out on basics.
A basic plane's a weird starting point for this deck.
Ethan's deck has played very fair these first 2 games.
Yeah, we haven't seen like the combo aspect, right? Like he's
Right.
just played kind of like a weird Obzon deck.
Yeah, he just played value creatures. Hit, his Shaman of the Packs have been good, but not great. Just been extra siege rhinos.
Yeah. There's Elvish Visionary. Time to draw. Pass the turn back after that. Shaman of the Pack was the draw. Actually, excuse me, Anafenza looks to be the draw.
Elvish Rally putting up good numbers this weekend. We'll get into the full metagame breakdown after the round, but 3 copies of it making it into day 2. Ryan Hipp, the only Jeskai Dragons player.
Like it. Like this attack too. 1-1 into an 0-2. Every time. Every time.
There's no way Ryan doesn't block this. What is he possibly playing?
Gather
around?
courage.
I accept, right? I mean, if he wants to spend a... Yeah.
Like, he thought about it for a while.
All right.
I love Ethan's attack there.
All
you
right.
got to let him know.
I don't know.
I'm not afraid to attack. I know this probably isn't going to work, but I'm coming in here. Maybe I get a free point in on you.
Anafenza has played. That one came out of the sideboard for Ethan. So he seems to be agreeing to Ryan's terms of engagement of just playing a value-based game 3.
Jace is going to go active.
A lot of lands for Ryan. Might be all lands in a roast.
That's not good. Battlefield Forge is gone. He's got a lot. I think there might be a
Yeah.
Thunderbreak region there too, but he's got a lot of lands.
Well, Jace will certainly help there.
Yep.
Yeah, Soulfire Grandmaster, Thunderbreak, Roast, and lands.
All right, so not horrible. I'm going to assume he's got another red source of mana because if he doesn't, that discard's real awkward. All right, there's a mountain.
Has one of every basic here.
And now there's a roast on Anafenza.
Yeah, I think he would have liked to have taken a turn off to put Soulfire into play before roasting, but Anafenza too large of a threat to wait a turn on the kill spell.
Now the Visionary gets in for a point of damage. There's another Anafenza. Poellinger will have to take 1 to cast it. Sandsep Citadel the land for the turn, and that'll be it for Ethan as we head back Hipp's way. Hipp draws another copy of Roast. Now we can have Soulfire Grandmaster plus Roast.
Yeah, now it makes it easy. See Ryan not taking time to figure out this turn.
Going to gain a bunch of life here from the Roast thanks to the Soulfire Grandmaster. Graveyard has 3 cards in it, I believe. Jace is almost going to flip here. And again, we're seeing Ethan continue to play just kind of a normal game. We're not seeing any real Rally the Ancestor aspect of his deck. No combo finish, unfortunately, here for Ethan.
He does have a copy of Rally in his hand this game, so that may happen. Looks like he has Obzon Charm, Rally, at least 1 more land. Maybe Dwinnen's Elite. Checks. Is Jace going to flip? The answer is yes. Well, soon. It's 3 cards in the yard.
Yeah, very soon. Oh, yeah. Now, this one a little aggressive for me. This is
I think okay, so he has Obzon. He actually has Obzon Charm in hand. It's not a bluff this time.
Okay, all right.
And Ryan pretty heads up there. The fact that Ethan has been making that attack every turn, there is a chance that Ryan can make a block there. Heads up for him not to.
There's the Elite. It'll bring an elf along with it. A Temple, top card. See where it goes. It's going to stay on top. Poellinger will pass the turn back over to Hipp. Hipp will activate that Jace.
Still has Thunderbreak in hand. Maybe just lands with it. Looks like he picked up a Valorous stance.
He'll discard a Flooded Strand. Time to untap and draw.
Getting close to the point where that Flooded Strand may not have been live. Could not fetch up blue. He has 1 planes left. Wondering why he would discard it there.
There goes the Temple. Jace is flipping.
Maybe plussing, could flashback Roast, continue to go after Ethan's creatures. Gain 5 more.
Yep.
Looks like a -2 the Dwinen's Elite. Maybe make a dragon. Jace has been the unsung hero of this game. 3 loots plus some Planeswalker abilities that's helped to keep Ethan's aggro plan at bay.
And this is going to be a real surprise. Jace is really good.
Yeah.
A true shock to the system. But it has been dominant this game. A couple of activations to smooth out the draw. Now it's flipped. Now it's plussed up to 6, slowing down creatures. It can flashback roast. It's looking dominant here.
So it'll be interesting to see how Ethan wants to play his game. His remaining cards in hand are a land, a Court of Calling, and a Rally the Ancestors. So he's got a lot of game right now. Can't kill the Jace. He could put the Jace down to 2, which means it wouldn't be able to flash anything back. That seems pretty relevant. Now, Ethan has taken a lot of incremental damage here.
Well, with Jace plussing last turn and giving something -2/-0, I believe the Diamond's Elite. Not going to be able to get a lot of work done on that. So we just see Ethan kind of just hold steady. Additionally, he's got that Court of Calling in hand.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised if he wanted to core that he wouldn't just do it main phase to try to play on some counter magic. I don't think there's too much value here to be doing it on Ryan's turn.
I mean, it's definitely risky. If he does run into, a card like Negate, not good. Not
right.
good.
He's just got to watch for his life total.
Jace is going to slow down the Elite. Mantis Rider will come across for 3.
All right. Okay. So last turn the attack would not have been for 4 anyway. It would have been for 2.
Yeah,
because of the Jace.
Yeah, because of the Jace activation. Looks like he's going to go for Shaman in the pack, which would be for 4 here.
Yeah.
But Hipp has so much life to work with.
Shaman pack is a loss of life effect, so he can't redirect that one to Jace. But it will put Ryan down to 21. Remember, Rally's in Ethan's hand, but that doesn't do very much at the moment.
Yeah, Rally actually just quite poor right now. It definitely has. So this is, it's like a deck it's like more of an Obzon deck that has elves, and then Rally is kind of incidental. Like Matthew
Right.
Tickle's deck is a Rally deck.
Every time Tickle has Rally in his hand, his deck's amazing. I don't know if that's true of Ethan's.
Yeah.
Especially when he goes on this board plan of things like Anafenzas. The Rally of the Ancestors look even weaker. The deck has looked anemic this game.
If he was able to keep one of those Anafenzas, life would have been okay, but Hipp's deck is actually pretty well situated against Anafenza with Roast and with Valorous Stance. So he's actually doing quite well against that card.
Shaman of the Pack will attack. Ethan wants to get that one into the graveyard, but on Ryan's side, he can just take 3. He's far ahead in the race.
Yeah, he falls down to 18. He's got a lot of life to work with. Top card going to go to the bottom. And now we head back Hipp's way. Hipp will draw. Picked up a copy of Draconic Roar. Don't believe he has a dragon in hand.
No, but that all these burn spells gain life is so relevant at this point.
We also can't forget that there's that Jace out there. Jace can flash back one of those copies of Roast in the graveyard.
And Ryan's been pretty wary about mowing down Ethan's board, I think because of a card like Rally the Ancestors. As if he can win without putting any cards in Ethan's graveyard, the more the better. If Ryan hits a 6th land, he can start using Soulfire Grandmaster plus Draconic Roar. He's got a lot of options available.
Ethan will draw. He needs some help here. If things stay the way that they are right now, Hipp's going to win. It's pretty straightforward. Got a Jace working away. He's got a Mantis Rider that Ethan can't answer.
He's able to use kill spells to pick apart Ethan's post-board plan. And at the end of the day, what's just been happening is we see 3/2s and 2/2s, some uncommons face off against Mantis Riders and Jaces, and it's just not a fair fight.
Yep. Mantis Rider's going to block the Elite. Shaman of the Pack will come across. Only get to deal 1. And Poellinger will just pass the turn back yet again.
We go back to Ryan. Copy of Negate in his hand should sew this up.
Yeah, that might be the check mark now. The Rally of the Ancestors will not resolve unless Ryan wants it to. And that might be the final nail in the coffin here for Poellinger, who is just, the draws have been okay, but we have not really seen the rally part of his deck, the explosive part, I imagine.
It's played a lot like a weak Abzan deck.
Yeah. Shaman of the Pack's going to knock down by Jace. It'll have 1 power. So we're going to have it Poellinger's way for what might be his final draw step here of the match.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a draw that he has that can get around the negate in Ryan's hand. He doesn't have kill spells for Mantis Rider. He has 3 left in the deck. Ryan has a negate for it. The Mantis Rider should be lethal.
Yep. There are the blocks.
Remember, Shaman is smaller thanks to Jace.
Yep. And Ryan's able to make those blocks because if anything goes wrong, he's got a negate.
Right.
If there's some sort of weird trick, you know, it's going to be an instant or a sorcery, something like that.
That attack shows it's clear that Ethan is setting up for a Rally of the Ancestors, but Ryan has it covered.
Hipp will draw, picked up a copy of Stormbreath Dragon.
Anger of the Gods was the draw for Ryan.
Oh, was it Anger? Yeah, it's a red card. Doesn't change what he needs to do.
Yeah, I don't think he needs anything but what's in his hand.
Yeah. There's Rally. Yeah, doesn't do very much. Negate will take care of it. Ryan Hipp's going to win this match here over Ethan Poellinger, 2-1. Jeskai Dragons will take care of Elvish Rally. And for Hipp, it's going to keep his winning ways going here with the Dragons deck. He moves on to 9-2 here in Milwaukee.
2-0 start to the day, which is an excellent start for Ryan.
You like the Jeskai Dragons deck?
Well, it plays a lot. It's interesting. I'm not sure. I like Jeskai, and I think the verdict's still out for me on whether or not I'd like Dragons or just classic Jeskai more. But that game is certainly, the Jeskai cards is what won it for me here. You know, if you think about what it took for Ryan to win that game, it was Mantis Rider plus Soulfire Grandmaster.